Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm out today on the wife's TW200, just trying it out a little bit. She hasn't rode it yet, so I just want to try it out, make sure everything's okay. I rode it into work today, and it absolutely was, I was impressed actually, not by the speed or power, but just by it holds its own pretty good. I mean, it runs up 55, 60, no problem, and I figured it would feel so tiny, but it really, when you're on it, it don't feel so tiny. I mean, it feels really comfortable. I'm just going to take it down a little dirt road, try it out, see how it does on gravel. Give it a little ride here. Then, of course, I'll ride home from work, and I got to get started training her. You can see we got 291 miles on this thing so far. So I call it new, but it's not actually new, but it's really close to it. 291 miles. It's not even had the first oil change yet, and of course it's not even broke in yet. So it does have these handlebars. I said these was Renthal bars because of this pad, so I thought they're Renthal, well they're not. They're actually Pro Taper ATV bars with a Renthal crossbar pad on there, so either one is fine. They're aluminum bars and they're taller than the original bars. And already I noticed right off this is not as smooth as the 300L. It's a lot stiffer. But actually, as far as riding on the gravel, it feels good. I mean, the 250L when you're riding on this is butter smooth. And this one here I can feel the bumps more. But not terrible. I'll probably have to take this bike and lower it a little bit by lowering the front suspension. I don't know if you can adjust the back suspension or not, but make it a little bit lower for her. She can reach the ground, but she's tippy-toed to do it. But this little booger's got plenty of power. I could imagine taking this out in the woods, and I will sometime make a video, take it actually out in the woods and ride it. And I bet this little thing, it just tracks her all over the place like it ain't no problem at all. It's definitely going to be a fun little bike. And I think even hauling two people, you know, it's got passenger pegs. I bet you I could, me and my wife both ride on this thing. But like I say, it does feel smaller, but it's not as bad as you would think by looking at it. It don't feel real humped up. It feels about like if you was on a CRF 230L, something like that. Not really a lot of difference. But the fatter tires are definitely different. It feels like it's got super good traction with these big fat tires. That is one thing I've noticed. Tires feel real good and assuring. So it's pretty confidence inspiring. The thing I like about this bike is simplicity. This bike is so simple. I mean, it's just carburetor, air-cooled, electric start. There's just not much to it. You got the old-time gauges, of course. You don't have no digital stuff, no frills. It's just a great bike. And the way I look at motorcycles, it's not about what you're riding, but it's about where you're going. That's what matters. You can ride anything you want as long as you're having a good time and you're out enjoying the outdoors. That's what motorcycling is all about. It's not about having a big high suspension fast dirt bike, or you know, a $10,000, $12,000 bike. And those are great too, but you can have just as much fun on something like this as you can one of those big expensive motorcycles. This little thing is just it's a real joy to ride. I like it so far. And as far as the gravel, it actually is handling this gravel real good. I think it actually, as far as walking around on the gravel, it's not as bad as my 300L. And that's probably due to the fat tires. So you have more surface area of the tires on the ground than you do on the 300L. Uh-oh. got a brush hog. Luckily, I think the guy's having lunch. He's not throwing rocks and sticks at me, so that's good. Now we're on some chip and seal, which is usually really loose. I'll take this road here. So I'm actually just on my lunch break right now, not on the way home yet. I just wanted to get this thing out to some gravel, and this was the closest gravel road that I knew of to my work, because 30 minutes to lunch, you ain't got a lot of time. But the cool part is too, like I was saying, it has these Pro Taper bars. It already has an aluminum skid plate, not the factory one, but an aftermarket. And it already has wider foot pegs, which is nice. So the guy has done some upgrades, and really the upgrades that it needs. I do know that Cycle Racks is going to send me some racks for. They said racks. I mentioned about a rear rack, but they said they'll send racks. So I'm assuming they're talking about the front rack for this and the rear rack. Now the Cycle Racks is a bigger rack, so it don't look as sleek as a lot of racks like the one on the 250L or something. But the purpose in that rack is it's nice and big, and it has the bars down the side, so it protects the bike. Because if you fall over, you're just going to bang the bike up. I'd rather the rack take the beating than the bike. So when it comes in, I'll do an install of it, show you guys. And once my wife gets a little bit of training where we can take her out just down some roads, we'll start making some videos of that. Ought to be a lot of fun. The cool part about these bikes are we can haul both of these in the back of the Gladiator and take them somewhere and go riding if we want. Or the cool part about a DUALSPORT is we can just go from our house, take off down the road, hit the gravel and back roads, and have a real nice day. We can pack up everything, our cooler and everything we want for drinks. Spend a day out enjoying the ride. And I think it's going to be more fun than like we usually do two up. I think her being on a bike and me being on a bike would be a lot better. And we do have the Senna, both have Sennas, so we can communicate with each other while we ride. Which when you're training somebody to ride like I will be her, it's really good to have the Senna intercoms and you can actually talk to the person you're training. It's really hard to tell somebody something when you're just pointing or whatever trying to tell them. This is a beautiful day. It's only supposed to get like 80 today. So this is kind of my first impressions of the Yamaha TW200. This is a 2021 TW200. And I called the shop. They didn't have any. And it was a month out. And they said they sell them faster than they can get them in. And the 2021 is the models that they was getting in. They wasn't getting no 2022s yet. So I found this one at a great deal with already all the stuff on it that I wanted. And 280 miles when we got it. Saved a lot of money. And a bike just as good as a new one. My wife really liked the color because it's gray, so it kind of matches her Jeep Gladiator. I do know one thing, this rack that's on here, not this rack, but I'm sorry, but this skid plate, it's aluminum. And I can hear the harmonics of that aluminum on here making that sound. So I don't know if anybody makes a plastic rack for this, but that would be a real cool thing to have an actual plastic rack instead of the aluminum. Or I may have to figure out some way to pad it, make it stop that, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, there's my first impressions on the 2021 Yamaha TW200 added to the Woodzman stable. Thank y'all for watching. Click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Ride on.